Hi, this is Calvin Cox. It's Thursday morning, November 14, the year is 2013, and it's 5:06 a.m. And what I want to talk with you about, I'm going to show you right here. It is, what I did was I took a can, food comes in all kinds of cans you buy at the store, and I'm concerned that there might very well be a link between the liner they put inside of the cans, which is, depending on the can, like the Hanover vegetables, if you open their can, you see like this white liner inside of the metal can. I think it's some kind of, I don't know if it's vinyl or epoxy or what it is, but I'm concerned that there might be some connection between the lining inside the cans and cancer. And the reason I say that is because that epoxy or vinyl plasticized whatever liner, I guess it helps keep the food from going bad long, it keeps it fresher longer. But then also you have to consider that the water and the vegetables coming into contact with that, it could take off a few surface molecules, and therefore when you eat that, of that material, whatever it is, when you eat it, if it did get into cells or whatever, and it started the when a cell divides, if the protein folds the wrong way, they say that that is basically what cancer is. And then when the cell divides again, it continues to produce the wrong, continues, the bad copy continues to copy itself, and you get more and more bad copies. And so that's exactly what cancer is improper cell division, creating new improper cells. So, because if you look at other countries who are not as advanced as we are in the United States, they don't have all of the canning apparatus, so they don't have all this apparatus, massive food production, so you need massive canning to store it. Everything's done on a huge scale in this country. The advantages are obviously we can feed more people more efficiently with less effort. That's a real advantage, believe me. But on the other hand, people are scared to death of cancer. And they don't know exactly what it is, but you have to look at, one of the things could be food. And, other things can be coming in contact with certain chemicals. Perhaps whenever you go get gasoline, getting gasoline on your hand all the time. Could be a lot of different things. I do believe this is probably one of them. Making a link to this, I don't know. I think it would be a good idea in the future to either change the can by possibly going back and putting a thin layer of tin on the inside. Remember the phrase tin can? Perhaps going back to doing that would be better than this. I'm not sure. That might be a bad idea. It might lead to toxicity levels of tin in your blood, in your body. Maybe it's a bad idea. However, I don't think continuing this is really a good idea. I think going more to glass, like we used to have, everything, milk came in glass, a huge number of other items came in glass jars. I think that would be preferable because I believe glass is less reactive. Glass particles, if they do come off the surface of glass, are so few, and I'm sure there's a hugely less chance of them causing cancer. I want to show you this. What I did was to find if this actually had a coating on it. I took it off, washed it off with water, let it, dried it, and then put it on the stove. And when it got to a certain temperature, it started to burn, this stuff right here. And that's what I want to show you. I don't know how you'd be able to see that on the camera. You can see that plastic layer. I'm going to turn it around at several angles. Finally started to burn off. Let me put my flashlight on it. Maybe that'll help. If you can see those. Let me get it also around to the camera behind it and hold it in front. Might be a good idea. You can see that that lining started to melt away. That's proof there actually is a liner on there. Okay. And I had to burn it to get it to peel away to prove what I was talking about. Yes, it was correct. It's a good idea. You don't want to destroy an industry. You don't want to destroy the canning industry. It employs a huge number of people. So we don't want to do that. You don't want to hurt the canning industry. What you want to do is have the canning industry control itself. In other words, it's more efficient if the canning industry says, yeah, you know, maybe these liners over time would, you know, react enough with food, it really wouldn't be perhaps the most healthy thing. So the canning industry themselves could say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to call in our experts and we're going to consider doing a line of cans where we actually coat the inside of the can with a thin layer of tin. Or perhaps come up with a new series of cans, very thin wall stainless steel cans. Maybe they could be recycled, you know, and so the cost could be controlled. But continuing to do things the same old way, something that's so questionable, that's not really a good idea, and it's not good for the health of the canning industry, because you know, that could hurt them in the long run also. It could bring lawsuits and on and on and on. So it's something to think about. You want to have your food supply in the safest, consistently in the most safest manner possible for storage. And you don't want it to, you know, harm you. Thank you.